First. First thing, we'll need approval of the minutes of the prior meeting.
Motion.
Motion by Supervisor Wood, second by Supervisor Conover. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, with that, we'll, under new business, we'll start with Justin Gagnon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning.
For my update today, I'll start off with we had the arrival of our new dining car, the SLRG 6114. We're really excited to finally receive this after a lot of planning, a couple months worth of planning anyway. This car features modern electrical updates, brand new HVAC systems, and we currently have it up in North Creek right now, and we are renovating the interior of the dining room to give it more of a Adirondack taste. And that car will be in service on our Pullman dinner trains, which start May 28th. The Thurman caboose, we are completing the Department of Health application, and the interior and exterior work should be completed by May 31st, and we're still shooting for a July 1st startup date with that. The Maple in April Festival in Hadley is this coming weekend. The railroad will be participating in it. We'll be offering rides between Hadley, Luzerne Station, and Thurman Station for $10 for adults and $5 for children. $2 of each $10 ticket for the adults will go back to the Hadley Business Alliance for a scholarship fund that they have set up. We'll also be participating in the car show. We'll have two of our new Hi-Rail trucks there, just putting them on display so that people can see what a Hi-Rail vehicle looks like. We are also giving an 11 by 14 framed picture of one of our trains over the Hadley Trestle to the Hadley Business Alliance that they are going to raffle off, and they are going to keep 100% of the proceeds from that, also to go toward their scholarship fund. Our regular schedule starts up May 7th, and that's for the Saratoga to North Creek passenger train. Pullman dinner train, as I said, starts in May 28th with a dinner train out of North Creek Station. Tickets are on sale for that now. They're $59 a person, and the regular schedule for the Pullman dinner train begins on May 30th. That's all I have for the railroad update. And now I'm going to turn it over to Rob, who is going to give you an update on Renegade Rail Riders.
Good morning. Thanks for having us here. I wanted to give you an update on where Renegade Rail Riders is right now, what our status is. My name's Robert Hart again. When we last spoke, we had two different operations that we were looking at on the Saratoga and North Creek Railway. We are still actively pursuing both of those operations. The one down by Stony Creek, and there's one above North Creek. The one above North Creek is one that we're looking to develop in 2016. It's an easier run. It goes above the station, and it goes up on the Sanford Lake Line branch. At the same time, the Stony Creek area, that line is a more involved and a more serious operation that we are looking at, and we are actively pursuing it. It's just the infrastructure costs to get that one started are significant, and we're looking to develop a strong partnership with Warren County as we go forward with that one. It means developing siding, coordinating the timing on the trains. So we are looking forward to doing the Stony Creek operation. It's just the Stony Creek and working with Stony Creek Ranch, which just closed a couple weeks ago. There's just the timing of it feels like it would be rushed to try to put it forth this coming summer, based on what they have going on at the ranch and the infrastructure costs for us. So we're excited to be going with the North Creek, above the North Creek line on the Sanford Lake Line branch. And what that that run's really spectacular. We took a run on it last week, Gus and I, for the first time, and it's gorgeous. It's really beautiful. We're gonna start up around the Moose Pond Club Road, and then you travel down around 10 miles around the Boreas River and down over the Hudson River. It's this long trestle where you see the river stretch out on both sides, and you see a mountain tops. I mean, it's something out of a fairy tale. It's gorgeous. Then you come back into the forest, and we're really excited about that run, and we think it's a beautiful run. So that's where we're going to sort of put forth for the first summer while we're developing the production or getting ready for Stony Creek in 2017. The other thing we have going is that we began manufacturing the bikes, and we're doing all that in the United States. So we're really excited about that. That's actually why Gus can't be here today. He's actually working on getting the bikes ready and working on those down the Pennsylvania, Delaware area. And we're actually exploring doing the assembly up here in Warren County now. So we're looking at a couple of different options to actually do the assembly up here. So hopefully we can do that to help provide a couple more jobs. And it still looks like the North Creek operation, which I initially thought was going to be about 14 jobs, actually looks like it's going to be more closer to 16 to 18 jobs that we'll be bringing into the area. So that's where we stand right now. I'd be happy to answer any questions that people may have about the project. Yeah, please.
Good.
Yeah, what, have you, looked at any possible sites for a location for where you would want to assemble these?
Gus is the one who's handling he's more the operations guy, so he has a couple of ideas. Yeah, he does have those in mind. I actually don't have it handy, but I can get those to you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Sure.
When is your anticipated start? Like, what period of?
We're looking at, so the manufacturing is actually ahead of schedule, which is really great. But we do have to keep it moving. But we're looking at the middle of June to do sort of a soft open and then do a full open July 1st. That's what we're headed for. Thanks a lot for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, with that, I'll turn it over to you, Jeff.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Chairman. The one action item is request to amend the budget. We have been notified by the Lewis Trust, Daniel Lewis Trust, which is a neighbor to Up Yonder Farm. They've been consistent in donating to Up Yonder Farm each year. This year, they're actually donating $5,000, and so I have a request to amend the budget to receive those revenues and then also allocate those revenues into various codes for operations at Up Yonder.
Need a motion?
Yeah, need a motion. Second? We have a motion by Supervisor Dickinson, second by Supervisor Conlon. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And then under discussion items, I have on page 4 just an update on our spring stocking. I do have Jeff Hingley here. He's our fish specialist. So if he has any comments, but it's we're getting pretty close to finishing out our spring stocking. Do you have anything on that, Jeff?
Yeah, spring stocking this year went fantastic. We did get an early start due to some warmer temperatures. We're just about complete. The only thing that is left is stocking our 2-year-olds into Schroon River, 2-year-old rainbow trout. And we have a couple upcoming derbies to stock for, Crandall Park Derby and Mill Pond Derby. So then we'll be finished up. So it went very smooth, and our crew did a fantastic job.
County Administrator?
You feel that the size of your trout and your other fish worked out pretty well?
Yes, everything worked out well. We
Great.
put together a pretty solid management plan as to what the hatchery is capable of, and it's worked very well for the past few years.
No varmints?
There's always varmint problems, but
They've actually, Jeff and Paul and Tim, have actually done a lot of upgrades and varmint proofing, a lot of the ponds. So if you haven't been down there in, the last few years, you'll notice quite a few upgrades and quite a few changes and different methodologies that we use to keep critters out.
I would say I went down there and took a tour, spent a few hours there, and I was really impressed with the facility. I'm glad it's here in Warren County.
No, they do a nice job,
Thank you.
and I'm sure you're booking up for summer.
Oh yes, we've actually have begun a lot of tours, mostly Boy Scouts and Girl Scout groups, but they're pouring in rapidly, which is
I would
nice.
suggest anybody's never been there, they should
Yeah.
take their drive up.
Come on down, have a picnic.
Yeah.
Beautiful place.
Dennis?
I just have a couple curiosity questions.
Sure.
You're stocking fish, do you have any program to determine how many of those actually survive?
That to my knowledge has never been completed. What we do is basically a put and take system. So to determine that, I'm not sure how they would do that. I know the state does certain surveys to do population estimates in certain bodies of water. That would probably be something that they may be able to answer, but I've asked that question to our state biologist before too, and they said it's such a put and take system that it's very hard to try to get an estimate on that.
Thank you.
Are you at capacity given your infrastructure at the plant? in terms of-
Yes, yes, we're at capacity. 'Cause not only with our program, but we also raise heritage brook trout for New York State, which is a very popular program. All those trout go out to like backcountry ponds just to try to promote some of our native strains to keep them up and going. And we also do 3,000 salmon into Lake George every single year. So we have our program plus 2 additional programs that we help out with, which are both very popular programs.
Gene?
Just a quick question. It just happened Saturday. Somebody asked me and I happen to know the answer because I heard you guys at Stock Lake Luzerne a couple
Yes.
weeks ago. Do you have any coordination with the state? I was asked when the state's gonna stock. Are they stocking now too, or?
They're out stocking. I've seen their trucks out around.
You know, there's no schedule out for the different, like you have here.
Yeah,
That was
they run on a set schedule where we base our stocking based upon temperatures. And they just, when they're slated to go, they go. But I know that they have been around the area.
I've seen their, helicopter with the pontoons at the airport, so they're out.
And they'll actually be
Dropping
flying
into them.
out of our hatchery May 9th.
Dennis, on your question about, the survival rates, there's a tributary to the Schroon River where it's notorious for holdovers in the following spring. Some pretty nice fish being caught out of there. Big browns.
My dad used to chase them around, fish them all out as fast as he could.
They don't all get caught.
Okay, the next item is to give an update on the spring zine, so I've got, Jeff put together a brief little slideshow, and he can give us an update on the spring zine that's coming up here in just about a little under 3 weeks.
Right, yep, it's coming up in a couple weeks, Saturday, May 14th. And again, it's a way to try to promote the hatchery, get us in front of the public a little bit so that they can understand what we do, and see exactly how we operate, and also our affiliation with some of our local businesses and organizations. So, again, what we will be doing is, if you want to switch the slide, Joe. We put together a brochure. There's copies of it if anyone would like. Basically, when people get to the facility, they will be going to an event registration desk. There they will be given this brochure, and they will also be given a raffle ticket. We'll be doing a raffle every single hour with products donated by our local businesses. So on this, basically, they will be able to follow this brochure. It has a map in it. each item, each event is labeled with a number, so they'll be able to follow it through, and as you'll see, we're utilizing the whole facility. There may be a question as to, while you're done stocking, there's probably not too many fish left to see, but in all actuality, we have everything for 2017's stocking season too. So there's quite a bit left to see, and 3 different year classes of rainbow trout will still be available to see. If you want to keep going, Jeff. Daily events, we have some timed events. We will be doing mock boat inspections. I'm going to personally bring my boat up. Lake George Association is going to be doing an invasive species seminar, and they will be going through and educating the public as to exactly how to go through and inspect your boat for invasive species. We'll be doing stocking demonstrations so people can see exactly how we load all of our fish into our tanks and also unload them. All-day events, we'll be doing constant hatchery tours, casting, fly casting instructions, fishing stations. We have a pond out there where people can actually physically fish for trout. Fly tying instruction, which will be 2 stations of that actually. Stream entomology, which will be conducted by our Up Yonda farm. Stream erosion, which will be conducted by Jim's crew, Warren County Soil and Water. Aquatic invasive species education, which again is Lake George Association, and we will be having our lure strike demonstrations and fishing equipment setup education, which will be conducted by certain stores around the area, like Crossroads, Fish 307, and Nemix. You can keep going, Jeff. Sponsors involvement, we've had Cornell Cooperative Extension, which will be doing our fishing education. Trout Unlimited, we'll be doing fly fishing education, fly tying instruction. Fish 307, we'll be doing an equipment display and education on techniques. Crossroads will be doing an equipment display and education as well as fly tying instruction. And on the Stream Entomology, Lake George Association, again, aquatic invasive species, Warren County Soil and Water. With stream erosion, and Warren County Tourism has actually helped us out a tremendous amount by creating these wonderful flyers and helping us advertise. They've done a fantastic job. They've been great to work with. And we've had all of our sponsors have donated a plethora of items. The first 125 children under 18 will be given a bag like this with our Spring Zing logo on it. They have donated goods, simple goods such as hooks, sinkers, bobbers, basically a little starter kit to get kids up and going. Stewart's has also stepped up in. Each bag will contain a single scoop of ice cream cone. We have some other little goods like Up Yonda pencils and erasers and such. And the listed sponsors have also donated the items for each raffle for every hour. So, I guess that's basically it. If anyone has any questions regarding the Spring Zing?
We do, I did bring some more posters, so if any of the supervisors, you know, would like you to please take them back to your towns if you would and post them. We have some that are laminated so that they can go outside at some of your parks or landfills or anywhere that people go. We'd like to, you know, have as big a crowd as possible, and we'd like to have 125 kids to get those free gift bags and hopefully more. And we see this as an annual event, so we want to build this for each spring, kind of kick off the angling season each spring.
There will start to be some advertisement soon. You'll see it in the Chronicle and the Adirondack Journal and hear it on the radio as well. And social media has been
Greg?
I don't see the date on the things on the posters.
Yeah, we left the date off on this one. People will be physically getting it
Okay,
once they get there.
that's the handout.
Right, and it's kind of as a template for upcoming years. But yes, it is on the poster.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. And that's all I have for Parks and Rec.
Okay, we'll move into DPW.
Okay. We switch agendas here to DPW. First item I have is a request for a new contract. This is for grout pumping service. This is a service we use on various road projects, usually a slip line type project where we slip line a culvert. We need a pumper type truck that can bring in and pump grout. So this is a annual contract.
Is that a motion to move it to the floor, Matt?
Yes, please.
Okay, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
On page 3 is a request to close a capital project. This is for H299, which is a bridge rehab project. This was bonded funds, and there is some funding left in the project that'll go back against debt service, but the project is complete and the various bridges completed, so it's ready to close.
Okay, motion by Supervisor Wood, second by Supervisor Frazier. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Question on this, the first one we voted on already, what, I don't see any prices in this.
So it's on page 2. It's a,
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, the next one is on page 4. It's transfers, various road projects. You'll see these are just cleanup items for projects that were completed last year, mostly salary and benefit type codes that need to be adjusted.
Motion made by Supervisor Dickinson, second Supervisor Peninsula. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Oh, Jeff, in the future, can you total up the transfer amount? Mine's putting one total on there. You got 2 pages of transfers, but we don't have the total amount.
Okay. Next item's on page 6. This is a request for authorization to sell surplus equipment. This is a dump body off of a single axle truck. We actually were auctioning the truck off, and then Town of Lake George Highway Department expressed interest specifically in the dump box that had been replaced on this old truck at I think back in 2008. So they're interested in the dump box alone for a cost of $750.
Do you have a motion to move that? Supervisor Wood, second by Supervisor Conover. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And page 7 is a request to reclassify a position. This is existing account clerk position. This is my account clerk that reports directly to Betsy. Employee had come to us earlier this year and asked for a reclassification review, which has been underway since February 4th. And you'll see that that review is complete, and we worked through Trish in her office to do the necessary backup and determine whether, in fact, the position needed to be reclassified, and it does. So my request is to reclassify the position from account clerk to senior account clerk.
Okay, Supervisor Dickinson moved it. Second. Supervisor Sokol. All in favor? Aye.
And
Opposed?
on page 9 is a request to transfer funds. This is to transfer funding into that salary code to address the reclassification.
Motion Supervisor Dickinson, seconded by Supervisor Merlino. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And the referral items, we're still waiting for receipt of the New York State DEC grant. We are anticipating it for the household hazardous waste, but that's still pending. And then as far as an update, we're proceeding. We've got registrations occurring online and through the mail. those continue, and then the advertising will be hitting the papers here soon. So hopefully we get more people registering as we get closer.
I got a question. Are you,
Yes.
how many, do you have an idea how many people have
I
pre-registered?
think we've got a couple dozen so far, but we're anticipating many more, but it is a little bit far out
Yeah.
right now. I know I've got stuff in my house that I haven't registered yet, and I will at some point, but I think there's a lot of people just waiting to see how their weekends sort out as to what location they'll bring items to. We have had quite a few calls, literally daily. We're getting a handful of calls, people asking about certain materials, asking about a lot of questions about used motor oil, which we have to explain to them that they can take to their vehicle repair shop. So a lot of people are seeing it, they're interested, they're calling and asking questions, and hopefully we see those registrations pick up here as we get closer.
Vegetable oil and latex paint.
We would take neither. Latex paint, you open the cans, leave it in the sun, let it dry, and then it goes into your normal household waste. Not sure about vegetable oil. Some people take it and burn it in new biodiesels. I think there's one biodiesel in Lake George, an old Mercedes driving around that smells like French fries.
No, there are actually two of them. There's another guy that actually makes
There you go.
biodiesel.
I can refer them all to John Carr. How about that?
Yeah, please do.
You might take it.
I just have a question, Trish isn't here. I'll check with her later. I just had a question on the reclassification of the civil service position, so I'll talk to her.
Okay. Ron?
Just going back to page 4, the chairman asked, or the administrator asked for a total on that. Quickly, it looks like it's 35 or 36,000. But what is it? What are we doing? I mean, it looks like it goes from CR7 Bay Road project to CR7 Bay Road project. What are we transferring?
The projects were completed last year, and these were adjustments based on, cleaning up the project records. We have a ton of project records that get applied to various road projects. Each road project expense is calculated separately and tracked separately. So I know through the course of the closing of the books for last year and some of the audits the treasurer's office had done, they had found some things that needed to be adjusted and work with Betsy in my office to simply shift money around where certain expenses had been applied to one project and really should have been applied to a different project. So that's why they're shifting between projects. There's no new expense, it's just shifting among the road projects.
I mean, it seems $14,000 on the Glen Apple Road, 3,300 on, Bay Road.
Yeah.
But they're pretty big numbers, and we just kind of casually say, okay, but I think we need a little more justice.
Yeah, one of those, for instance, it was an older Glen Ethol Road project and a newer one. And so that was from an old Glen Ethol project where expenses had been inadvertently applied against an old project.
As long as everybody's comfortable.
Okay, that's it, not for, let's see, the last item. Oh, I wanted to recognize Jim Liebram here from Soil and Water. He wanted to give us an update on the MS4 report.
Oddly enough, we have a Soil and Water Board meeting this afternoon, and everybody from the county who's supposed to be there is here, so we could almost hold it right now. So, those of you who do not know me, my name is Jim Liebram. I'm the District Manager of the Soil and Water Conservation District, and I am also the Stormwater Management Officer for the county. Now that is not nearly as prestigious nor as ominous sounding as it is made out to be. Basically, there is a federal mandate from the EPA that's been handed down to the DEC and handed down to some specific communities across New York State, urbanized communities. Sarah Frankenfeld just made a large map for us that we'll have at our office, and I do have, which I'll leave, a bunch of 8.5 by 11s. So essentially anywhere within the MS4 area that's been identified on these maps, if there's a county facility or county infrastructure, we have to catalog at the end of the year, which is actually March 8th of every year. Runs March 9th to March 8th. We have to catalog a whole number of items. There's what are called 6 minimum control measures, and it's laid out by New York State. This is the report for 2015 to 16. I work with Jeff's office, primarily Kevin Hajos on that. And we are responsible for certain activities, we being the district, and the DPW is responsible for certain activities. Some of the activities are very simple. You might not even realize it, but there are certain things such as having education and outreach materials, and that's available here. It's available at our office. It's available at Jeff's office. And I'll just pass these over here. Those are examples of what needs to be available for community outreach. And then there's other items such as public involvement, like a stream cleanup. And if anybody has an idea who or how we can improve with that, that would be great. We partner with the town of Queensbury on that because they're an MS4 community. We just can't get people involved. Nobody really wants to go on a Saturday and pick up garbage along a stream. So we're trying to come up with different avenues. But those are all things which are in the plan, saying that will be done. And we have a sign-in sheet, and at some point in time, the DEC or the EPA will audit the county. They were audited, Jeff, 5-6 years ago, I think.
Somewhere around
So the final report is, this is the public announcement that's going to be available for draft review. I've already spoken to Dave Kenyon in IT. He's going to have it available at the county website. Dave is our IP administrator, or IT administrator as well, for our office, for our website. So it's going to be available at our website. And then upon review, appropriate review period, I think it's 14 days. I'm not sure what the county's is. I think I remember last year 14 to 15 days, but it will need to be approved by the Board of Supervisors, and then I will take it, make sure that the approved copies are at both websites and available as a hard copy at Jeff's office and our office, and then submit that down to the DEC for putting in a file folder. So I see a smirk with that. So if you ever have any questions, please feel free to contact me. The county met its goals. We will be reviewing the plan this coming year and look to make adjustments, improvements as necessary. But if you ever have any questions about that, please let me know. The plan is available at our website and at the county website all the time as well. So, I don't know. Yes.
Is there any facility that the county owns that you've checked on that we need to do an improvement on?
Right now, there does not appear to be. It's really laid out by the plan. I think last year infrastructure, there had been 4 or 5 projects that we had partnered with DPW on infrastructure over the Glen Lake area. This year there wasn't that. They had priorities other places in the county, and that's okay. It's just an additional improvement that occurred the year before. But one of the ways that you have, the ways that's a benefit for you folks that you have it set up is that all maintenance for vehicles go up to Warrensburg. That's actually out of the MS4 area. Well, how do I relay that? Basically put in a sheet saying that all mechanical problems or issues or routine maintenance goes up to Warrensburg and is taken care of through there. Over here at Parks and Rec, they actually have an oil and water separator when they do certain cleanings, and so that gets maintained. So right now, it's a little different. You're considered non-traditional versus Queensbury, because Queensbury goes out and does building inspections. They do planning board approvals for the developments and things like that. And their inspector, Bruce Frank, the zoning officer, actually reports back on their stuff. They'll have 29, 30 activities outside of what the county does. So if anybody really ever wants to see it, I'm glad to do a presentation for you. I'm sure it would be fascinating. But it is you know, it is important. I keep talking about how our economy is predicated on our natural resources. A lot of it is. So we want to keep the clean water clean. We want to keep the soil in place. And just speaking to Jeff Ingley, because we're going to be there, we're going to have the EM River there, we're going to have some of the stormwater stuff there, then we can count that as an activity for the county. So a lot of the stuff you folks or your departments already do. It's just making people understand that, yeah, this is reportable. This is stuff we can do or put into plan. So. Questions? Okay. I'll just leave the maps here.
Thank you.
That's
Moving on.
that's all I
Yeah,
have,
here.
unless there's any other questions.
OT looks good, way low. Compared to previous years.
It's the lowest,
What was that?
it's the second lowest.
Okay, if there's nothing further from the committee, motion adjourned. Supervisor Dickinson, second by Supervisor Wood. All in favor? Aye.
They are.
Okay.
Highway people doing some
What do
things
you
right.
do in
Really?